It's late.
Dog, we was supposed to start an hour ago.
And you literally said, "Wait, let me check out some stuff because I ain't see all the games. So let me check out some stuff. Let me go." Like, bro,
Look
that
at
was
the
all
USC
you.
Minnesota game that nobody cared about. Yeah, they lost, but nobody cared about that
That was
game.
all you though. Like you're the reason.
So
Welcome to
you watched that whole game.
the Brandon and Eddie show press release. You might have just heard me and Eddie going back and forth just now. This is what we do. Um, I'm the guy that keep this thing together for the most part on this show, and Eddie is just a nightmare to work with. Everything that goes on, he blames it on everybody else. I would love to speak to the way, Eddie. 'Cause
You want to go through the list of what I had to deal with before we got on? Because we were supposed to start an hour ago, right? You had to delete storage, right? Bang unplugged all your stuff. So you had to get all that plugged back in, right? You made a long phone call to your sister because your mic wasn't working.
a long phone call that took 10 seconds. All right.
Did all am I lying? Where's the lie?
10 seconds. That's a long
All
phone
right, we
call.
did you did all of that. You did all of that
You
an
good?
hour ago.
You good now?
I'm good. It's off my chest. Damn, but this is an every week thing though. You just show up and talk. That we can we talk about the B-roll I gotta cut? All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm tripping. Let's go. Let's go. All right, bro. Bama lost to Vandy, the number one team in the country, uh, 35-40. I mean, look, dog, to be honest with you, maybe Vanderbilt just better than we think they are. And we not giving them enough credit because this is teams that they beat that we've seen that we're close to, and Alabama being the number one team in the country and Virginia Tech, the opening game of the season. So it could be just that, man. People sleeping on Alabama. They not giving them the credit they deserve. And Diego Pavia, man, that dude, he could play. Whenever you got a good quarterback, you stand a chance to win games. And he been making plays all year long. And the game against Bama was no different.
Yeah, I would have thought that Vanderbilt is a pretty good team, right? But they lost to Georgia State. Like, come on.
Right.
Like, let's not put too much on this. They're better than what people think, but they not like a, top 25 team, I don't feel. We all know Virginia Tech can play up and down. You don't know which Virginia Tech team will show up. So yeah, they got that win week one. And then they beat Alcorn State. Then they lost to Georgia State. But you know what? They played Missouri tough. They went down to
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you.
they went down to Missouri. They only lost by three, but Missouri lost to beat everybody by three this year, no matter who they was playing. That's why I kept saying I don't know if Missouri is Missouri, but
They just lost two to Texas A&M this past weekend. So Mizzou ain't what we thought.
for the fact Bama came in and for Bama to take over their stadium, Bama traveled well. For Bama not to lose in the stadium since 1984, like it was a lot of things pointing Bama way to, and Bama coming off that win with UGA. Bama's not a team that's gonna get high and then they drop. Like you have to beat Bama. So, like we might do have to give Vandy their credit. And this wasn't a game where Bama just played horrible and everything didn't go their way. I mean, yeah, Vandy came out and they was efficient on offense. They was getting sacks on Milrow on defense, turning the ball over on defense, right?
Yep.
So they played all three phases of the game better than Bama. The interesting thing to me was though, at times, Vandy looked more physical than Bama.
Bruh, that's where I was going with it, dog. Yes. Yeah. From the opening drive, though, like that first touchdown when old buddy ran that through, he had some anger behind it, too. I was like, oh, okay. All right. All
Hey,
right.
so just to let everybody know, old buddy is Cedric Alexander. I'm gonna give you your props, bro. Like Eddie just tried to call you old buddy, but
He
Cedric
deserved it.
Alexander, like yes, when they got in the red zone, they ran it right up Bama throat. It wasn't no trick plays. It wasn't no reverses that Bama had to run to go up. Well, not to go up, but just to be in the game, late in the game, when Ryan Williams got a reverse. They ran it down.
And Brad, don't act like you knew who Cedric Alexander was, though. You looking at your iPad just like
I'm
I
not
am.
looking at my iPad. What are you talking
I
about?
could have easily have looked and said his name, but I didn't want to act like I knew his name all of a sudden. So you a Vanderbilt fan? You knew who he was
I'm
before
not
this game?
a Vanderbilt fan. I'm just do my homework, and I know
You just looked at your iPad.
I
Bet. All
literally
right.
just know every single player that exists in college football.
Yeah, you act like that.
I
Bruh.
literally know every player.
All right. We're gonna do enough podcasts for people to see the real you. They
But
gonna
no,
see.
but no. So all right, let's rewind it. Vanderbilt comes out, takes it to Bama, right? Look more physical than them. They efficient. They completing third downs, and then they get a pick six, right? They up 13 zip. They missed the extra point. And then Bama comes out, right? And then Bama like, yo, hold on. Like, y'all not gonna run up the score. And then when Bama marched down and got points, I was like, okay, Bama, all right, they scored. Everybody calm down. Like, let's get to it. But then, like, Vandy comes back down and get in the red zone and then pound them again. Like, yo, you know how we scored last time? We ran it right up the gut. A gap, B gap, we coming back to it, and Bama ain't have an answer for it. So my question to you is, are you concerned about Bama, or do you think Vanderbilt just need more respect? It can possibly be in the top 25 right now.
A little bit of both, to be honest with you. Because Vandy shouldn't be in the top 25. Hell no. Come on, man.
I
Come on.
mean,
Nah, bro.
they beat Virginia Tech, who
Yeah, we respect Tech, but everybody.
if you want to, okay, all right, here we go. Let's go on Virginia
No.
Tech. No, because you
Whatever
gotta
you
go.
about to
It's
say,
almost
no.
no, it's almost about a strength of schedule right now, right? They beat Virginia Tech first game of the season. If you look at Virginia Tech losses, Vandy, they beat Bama, they beat Tech, right? So you got to give them respect. They Missouri, another top 10 team. They went to Mizzou and only lost by 3, so they got some jug, right? Virginia Tech lost to a good Rutgers team who playing ball right now. Rutgers are tallying up wins. And then they go to Miami on an away game. And then they should have won that game on a controversial call where they should have beat Miami. So, and then they just went and handed it to Stanford, which they should have won. But they beat a team they should have won. So you got to give Virginia Tech a little bit more respect. So if you give
I
them more
respect
respect,
Tech. I'm saying I don't know that the country do. Somebody clip that. It sound like I don't respect Tech. Come on now.
you just literally basically said you don't respect Tech.
I know I said the country don't.
But I asked you, what do you feel? I didn't say what should the country rank Vandy? Do the country think Vandy should be in the top 25? I said no. What do you think?
Nah, they shouldn't. Great win. Quality win. You beat one more team, one more really good football team, then you could be ranked. But it's
They got,
hard to be ranked.
they got
It's
Kentucky this
only
week. They got Kentucky this week.
yeah. Go ahead, beat Kentucky. You beat Kentucky, and then even though Kentucky ain't ranked, but then I'll respect that.
Kentucky is a solid football team, though, man. Like let's take out these little rankings. I told you like a 70-year-old GM when you want to rank everything, like the eye test. You know, Kentucky is a solid football team.
Hey, Kentucky good, bro. They lost to Georgia by 1. Okay,
I just said to you, like,
and they beat Ole Miss.
yes,
Okay,
they're a good team.
so you can argue Kentucky should be ranked just as much as Vanderbilt.
They're not ranked, and they listen. If Vandy beat Kentucky, or I even say, nah, you can't give them in the top 25.
They not ranked. No, neither one of them should be ranked. Let's leave it at that.
Kentucky shouldn't be ranked. Cool. All right.
Nah.
You.
Well, Kentucky maybe, not Vanderbilt. Look, but for me, it was. Am I worried about Alabama? A little bit, because I do want to see Jalen Milroe run the ball a little bit more. 7 carries for 10 yards. And the week before, when they made the comeback, you saw Milroe using his legs a lot, ran for over 100 yards. And that was a big part of them coming back into the game and winning that game. So the fact that he wasn't rushing the ball as much is something that I look forward to him changing. And because that's a big part of the offense.
But
Right.
that's not part of the game. What if he just does that just if he needs to, like, yo, this game I just had to run, but I'm not a running quarterback.
Well,
Like, what?
he needed to do it against Vanderbilt. And yes, it's a part of his game. You getting compared to Lamar Jackson and guys like that. Running is a part of your game. So the fact that he didn't use his legs as much was one thing. The fact that Vanderbilt had success passing the ball as much as they did when I saw them when they play Virginia Tech is more of a run first, run heavy team. So the fact that Vanderbilt was able to have success through the air, that's a little alarming as well. Then you saw one of your DBs crashing out on the field, which didn't look good, wasn't a good look for nobody.
It's passion.
Nobody on
We
Alabama.
call that passion.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, right. Whatever. And so the 4th and 1 play where they caught that post route,
Mhm.
great call by Vanderbilt, one, and then to execute it. That was a big play in the game for me. And then the sack fumble that came shortly after that was huge as well. So it was just turnovers, little things with Alabama that you don't see from the number 1 team in the country, and they supposed to come in and dominate a Vanderbilt team. So the fact that they didn't get this game over with early. You let a good football team stick around. I'm calling them good, not top 25 good, but a good football team stick around, and you ended up losing. So they can learn from it. And I believe Alabama's a good football team, but we're seeing it. They shouldn't have been ranked number 1.
This is why we play the game. My guy, Herm would say that. Did Herm say that? It might have been Herm that said that.
You lie all the time, so I don't know. You just go ahead, lie again. Go ahead, just say it
No,
like you mean it. Yep, Herm
no.
said it.
I mean, when you have two good football teams playing, you don't know the outcome, right? Uh Vandy, they might not have the 5 stars, but they well coached. They got players that can play and make plays. They've shown you week in, week out, no matter who they play, they can play with the best of them. And man, when you got just a tough team that's not scared of nobody, they're physical, they're opportunistic. Whenever they get in the red zone, they actually get 7 and not kick field goals. It's gonna be hard to beat them. I don't care who you are. So I'm not too worried about Bama. They just ran into a buzzsaw, right? This Vanderbilt team will beat more teams that people think they should not beat just because they score 7 points in the red zone and they're going to find a way to get their offense back the ball. Who are efficient? The offense is it is what it is. They're efficient, so they're going to keep guys like Milrow, guys like whoever they play. When they play Kentucky this week, Kentucky offense is not going to be on the field the whole time. And sometimes your best defense is your offense. They have a great blueprint. They remind me a lot of not the players, but how Seattle Seahawks used to win, right? Back in the days, maybe about 5 years ago when the Legion of Boom was there. Play good defense. Don't give up too many big plays. Be physical running the ball. Keep the chains moving with your quarterback who is savvy, who can scramble. And that's the blueprint. Just keep the game close, win it at the end. So shout out to Vandy. I'm not too concerned about Bama, uh, but I would love to see this Vandy Kentucky game. That's not two teams that you would really think.
Man, you don't care about that game,
I
dog.
do care about that game. I care about good football. Like I don't care about teams like USC that like always have all this hype and then they never in the college playoffs. But two great football teams that play great football, nah, I want to see that.
Shout out to Clark Lee, the head coach at Vanderbilt as well. I'm shocked you didn't know that one.
I did. You just didn't never ask me who did I think or what was the name of the head coach at Vanderbilt was.
Hey, I tell you what, I'm going to the athletic director today. I need a raise, dog. I
Oh
need a raise. Whatever he making ain't enough. Whatever he making ain't enough.
man,
So
Vandy.
shout out to them. Hey, what about what Nick Saban said?
Wait,
All
let's not
right,
move past that real quick.
what's
Who's
up?
not making enough? What are you talking about?
Clark Lee, the head coach at Vanderbilt.
Because he had one season where there had been
Yeah,
500.
yeah,
You need a raise
yeah.
off that alone.
You beat Virginia Tech and you beat the number 1 team in the country. Yeah, I need more money.
No, you got to see how this year ends up. You got to check out the recruiting class next.
Bro, they
You got to
they
see how
carried the
they do.
goalposts down Broadway,
Bro,
down Nashville.
bro,
Broadway is
you
in.
seen Appalachia State years ago beat a big dog. Like, did they coach need a raise? Like, no. Like, you don't do that off like 1 or 2 wins, man. Power
Bro,
position
but this
wins.
never happened. This never happens.
Okay, because it never
And
happens. That's why I'm not paying my head coach right now if I'm the athletic director.
see, you was fighting to be a GM and all this.
That's
You should
exactly
be
why I'm a
Virginia.
GM. I'm not gonna pay nobody that don't deserve to be paid right now. So that's exactly why I need to be a GM.
And he from Nashville, bro. Born and raised in Nashville, coaching there. Let me see. He might have went there, maybe not. No. But I'm like, dog, yeah, I'm paying that dude. He can demand it.
All right,
He
so
might not get it, but he can demand it.
not.
But look, what Nick Saban said though, how you feel about that? He said every place is tough to play in SEC other than Vanderbilt.
I love it. Imagine you play for Saban and he say something like that, right?
And then go get your ass kicked.
I mean, he also said that because he ain't got to be the one on the sideline as well. Like, Nick Saban. Nick Saban is big on, yo, this you everybody's Super Bowl, right? When he's playing for Alabama, he let the kids know week in, week out, you everybody's Super Bowl. They highlights might be, yo, in my college career, I beat Alabama because they might not play in the NFL. They might not move to the next level. They might not make money to provide for their kids, but they can say they beat Alabama. So he keep his kids grounded when he's the head coach. But now that he ain't in the locker room no more, he can say what he really feel. He know how he dominated Alabama. That's like saying when we went to Duke and the whole stadium was Virginia Tech fans when we played Duke. Was it ever hard to play there? Was that not the easiest stadium to play in? That's a fact, right? That was
True,
factual. So
true.
I like the fact
Yeah.
that Nick Saban being real. Like them boys should have
But
won
yeah,
that game. And it's nothing that he did was out of pocket, was wrong. But I also like how they trolled him after the game when they put that little saying what he said on a big speaker when everybody was rushing the field. That was dope. I mean, that's why I love sports, bro. If you talk your talk, you better be ready to back it up.
yeah. Now, if I know Saban don't care, but I'm like, Coach, say that after the game. You know, they probably like, yeah,
Why?
say that after the game,
Why?
dog.
Let's just say Coach Beamer retired when we was at Virginia Tech, right? And we
Right.
had a new head coach come in. And Coach Beamer went on TV and said, "Hey, yo, Duke ain't a hard place to play. Actually, that's the easiest place to play." As a player, you think you gonna really feel like, and this team haven't beaten you since 1984. You really gonna say like, "Hey, come on, Beans, why you said that, bro? You putting pressure on us out here." Nah. Like, where your backbone at, dog? I don't even care if he
Facts.
said I don't even care if he said that about Georgia. Like, yo, y'all think Georgia hard to play? This is the easiest SEC state to play in. We'll be like, yeah, we riding. That's how you feel as a player. Like, nothing should make you feel like, hey, yo, say that to after the
Chill
game.
out.
Nah, that ain't how you rock. And if you rock like that, I don't want you on my squad.
I feel you.
Player or
Yeah,
coach.
that was on them. He should be able to say that and them still win the game. So I'm with you on that. With you on that.
Man, at the end of the day.
We had some really good games too, though, man. The Miami Cal game. You stayed up and watched it,
Yeah, I watch every game.
or did you watch the highlight?
No, I
Did you
watch
look
every
at the
game. What are you
highlights?
talking about? I have
You
like,
stayed up.
yes, I got like this little man cave, right? Where it's like my weight room now, even though I don't work out. I got like maybe 12 TVs in there, and I just have all the games just on there, just lounging there. But I definitely stayed up and seen the Cal Miami game. I want to ask you something. Do you feel like Miami lost that game? Or I mean Miami won that game or Cal lost that game? Or did you
A
not
little
see the
bit of
game?
both. Can I say it's a little bit of both? Look, it's a little
Tell
bit
me
of
why
both.
it's a little bit of both.
One, that was my question for you. My man looked at the rundown and stole my question. That's
Hey,
crazy.
that's what happens when you try to call me out at the beginning of the show, bro. But if you
All
want to
right.
ask me that question,
I'm just not gonna see the rundown no more. I'm gonna just
nah, it's
let's
cool.
just
No,
throw
I
it
answer
out
the
there.
question. I just wanted to do that to you, bro, because you tried to call me out at the beginning of the show. But for me, Miami won this game for sure. Cal played great ball. Explosive plays. defense all over the field, and Cal was up what 20 in the fourth quarter. Like that was like them putting it to Miami. And then you have Cam Ward that had like a 20-yard run. Like I can't hit on Cam Ward no more, bro. Like the way he scrambles, the way he make plays out of the pocket when he's in the pocket, he a leader, bro. You know who he is to me? I'm like the best at comparisons. When I told you Milroy, Jaden Daniels, like they the same. So Cam Ward is prime Russell Wilson. Do you not feel that way?
Keep going.
All right, cool.
Why
So
are you nervous about your comparison? If you the best at it, then
I
go.
am.
I
Who
should be
said
able
I
to
was
make a
nervous? I
face.
just asked you, do you agree? It was
When
no
you
nervousness
questioning it,
about it.
I don't know if I agree. You ain't said nothing.
I literally asked you, I said, do you feel that Cam Ward is prime Russell Wilson? Is that like a good comparison?
I never thought about that, but I want to convince me.
Okay.
Normally, somebody has something to back up what they say.
I
Like you just
do. I
said it and
just
just left it.
okay, I'm sorry, stat guy. Sometimes I love going by the
I don't
numbers.
need a stat. Just tell me why. The
Okay.
traits. What do you see?
Okay.
Like?
Because their stature is very similar, right? They're not 6'4", 6'5" tall guys. I think Cam Ward as well as Russell Wilson, they they make their magic and their I think their moxie about them, what makes them great is when they outside the pocket, what they can do outside the pocket, right? You never when we play Russell Wilson, right, in the NFL, it's always keep him in the pocket and make him beat you in the pocket, right? We want to see if he can make them throws. Now I feel Cam Ward can make better throws than Russell Wilson in the pocket because he's just that kind of elite passer. But when Russell Wilson get outside the pocket, that's when he started hitting locket deep, ball went deep, and he's pinpoint accurate. I see a lot of that in Cam Ward, right? When Russell Wilson dropped back, he knew in the millisecond when he need to take off. When it's too high safety and he sees two man, he's not even really trying to fit nothing in there. He's just like, oh, no linebacker here. I'm running for 20 yards. Every single time you go two man. I see the same thing in Cam Ward. Look at all his touchdown scampers. Look at his big 15-yard gains. It's always when they run in two man or it's cover two and the middle linebacker got his head turned running down the middle of the field. He has that uniqueness about him where he's like, yo, I know I can probably fit it into the honey hole, but no, this is easy for me to scramble for these 15, 20 yards. So I just think they're how intelligent they are when it comes to reading coverages, how they want to run, when they need to run, how not to take unnecessary hits. It's just like their vision, their way of approaching the game is the same to me. Do you not agree? Is that enough for you, or do you need more?
I would probably need more. I don't know that I'm there yet. Look,
Who do he remind you of?
that's what I'm sitting there trying to think this whole time. I'm listening, but I'm also like, who does he? And I don't know yet. I don't know that I have the comparison yet because I actually believe Cam plays on time majority of the time. And you talk about Russ. When I think of Russ, I just think of all the stuff on the outside the pocket. I didn't necessarily believe Russ
Okay,
played on time as much, back football out
right
type of
about
thing.
that. You're right about that. He's an improviser type quarterback, right?
Yep.
How about Baker Mayfield?
Can
Scrappy,
you mix?
hit everybody
I'm mixing Baker. No, it's like Kyler, and he's more like Kyler, and
Baker.
you could say Baker, Kyler and Baker, the mix. But Cam not gonna run as much as Kyler, but he gonna move as much. You know what I mean? Like Kyler will take off, and Cam gonna move more to try to find somebody open. And he'll take off, like you said, in those man-to-man situations. Um, so it's hard to find that comparison. But whoever it is, he's elite. Whoever you want to compare him to has got to be somebody who's elite, especially at the college level, because he's doing it. And it's 2 weeks in a row. We didn't see this Miami team find a way to win. I think that's the most impressive thing for me is that they just finding ways to win. And
Can I ask you my
controversial calls, 2 controversial calls, and
yeah,
I
can I
mean
finish my
it.
like analysis? Because I was
You the one talking about Russell Wilson and for about 30
I
minutes,
just asked you a
bruh.
question, and I just thought it would get back to me because you asked me, did I feel that? Well, I asked myself, did I feel that Miami won this game or Cal lost it? And I said
You
Miami
see,
won it,
like
and I
you
wanted to
asking
go
yourself questions. I can't
because.
even get in. Go ahead, do your thing.
All right, cool. Thank you so much. So the reason I'm still getting to my reason why Miami won is because, like I said, Cal was up 20 in the fourth, and they were still playing ball. After Cam Ward won his 20-yard run, Cal kind of like had first downs and kept the ball moving, right? They didn't just shrink, but then they had to punt the ball to Miami. Miami was like on their own 8-yard line. Cam Ward hit like a 77-yard strike to Restrepo, right? That's Miami. That's Cam Ward making plays, like backed up with like a minute and something left. Like you make a minute and 42 left. You making a 70-something yard pass or a Restrepo. That's all Miami, right? What?
You skipped over a huge part of the game,
What part did I skip over?
which was the targeting. Was it targeting or not? That happened at 150 in the game. And if they make that call, I know Miami had 3 timeouts left, but if it's a targeting, it changes the entire game because Cal holds on to the ball. They don't have to punt to give Miami this opportunity.
You an offensive guy. Like, stop being
Just
so.
nah, was
How
it or
is it
not? You
targeting if you running the ball?
based on the rules, the launching, the all of that, was it targeting? Using the crown of
No,
the
no,
helmet?
no. It's not targeting. Targeting is just for non-offensive guys. Listen, targeting should only be for if you're hitting the quarterback while he's throwing the ball, like in the chin, in the head. If a receiver come across the middle and he don't see you and you hit him in his neck to head area. Man, if you running the ball and you looking at me and you trying to get a first down, you can't tell me how to hit you and tackle you or I can't launch into you. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, it wasn't.
Sure. Look, all right. Do I agree with you? Yes. I actually agree with you. But that ain't what we talking about.
That is what we're
Based on
talking
the
about.
look, bro, based on the rules, was it targeted?
No, I don't
Okay.
care. No, it's gonna be a no for me
Okay.
every day of the week.
All right. Because you play defense.
So that's why I
Go
skipped
ahead.
past that part. There was nothing to talk about. It was not targeting. So, like, there was no reason to bring up a call that wasn't there. So after Miami hit that strike, and then they actually had like a unsportsmanlike, right? They got down there in the red zone, then they had an unsportsmanlike penalty that like takes away their little vibe. But then they score again, right? And then the biggest, like you said, I guess call of the game was the last go ahead score when they got back down there to take the lead, right? Y'all got to stop doing this for Miami. This 2 weeks in a row. Miami should have 2 L's, right? And Virginia Tech should be on their way to like playing an ACC championship. First off, Eddie can't say this, but it was a catch in Miami when Virginia Tech caught that Hail Mary, right? Y'all just wanted to see Miami and let them be undefeated and play Clemson and it's a vibe for college football. No, that was a L for Miami. And then when they throw the pass to the tight end with 25 seconds left, ironic enough, his last name like Royal or something like that. Um, if you watch the tape, there's a legal man downfield. Like you had two offensive linemen almost in the end zone blocking as if it was a run play. And that goes and set up the go ahead touchdown with like 25 seconds left. If you don't get that and they actually call a flag, now who knows? Miami don't get in, and that could be 2 L's for Miami. And then now, are you looking at Cam Ward as if he's the same Cam Ward? Because he had turnovers this game, right?
Yeah, yeah. Turnovers the last 2 games.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
yeah,
When you play decent football teams, he's been turning the ball over. And that should have been 2 games in a row where, hey, you turning the ball over, dog, and y'all lost them 2 games. So we'll be looking at him a little different.
a little different. But that's also what kind of makes people special is that they get away with certain things and they make certain things happen. And so he
Special.
did a He did a lot of things, a lot of plays in that Virginia Tech game, the little chest pass where he tied up and he flip it to the tight end. If the guy get his hand on that ball and that's a fumble, it's a bad play. But being Cam Ward, he made the play. He made it happen. And the interception across the body on the other side of the field trying to make that throw, bad play, bad play. And he's got to
That
eliminate
was
those plays.
horrible. That was horrible.
Horrible.
You
Yeah,
gotta
for
stop that.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. He got to stop. If Miami wants to win a national championship, win an ACC championship, he's got to stop making plays like that. And it's hard to preach that to a kid when you're winning football games, but I believe he's mature enough to understand that that's not winning football. And so he'll get that cleaned up. But yeah, man, the fourth, it's something special about this team because even against Virginia Tech, they had the fourth down conversions, Restrepo on the ground, then he finds some way to make that catch. Like those plays don't happen. Restrepo had two different fourth downs, a 4th and 6 and a 4th and 10 to where they converted to get down there. So yes, Miami, call them breaks, call it whatever you want. They still making plays that they need to make to win these football games. And so that's when you start to be like, all right, this team could be special. And you don't want to put it on them too early because, yeah, they could have lost these last two. But um, I like what I see. The defense could clean some things up. Um, the running game could be even better. I like the backs that they have, but Restrepo and Cam Ward are tough. And if you can't guard those guys, the receivers that they got, Horton, Jacoby George, like they got guys and they got young guys that they still ain't even played yet. The tight end is good. The tight end is great.
I
Elijah Arroyo.
I just don't know if I call them special. I call them more lucky. They're very lucky. It's not like
Come on, Doc.
special to me. No, special to me is what Texas is doing. Where it's like they're going into every game and you just like, yo, Texas is better than them. Texas got a squad. Like Texas not gonna be beat until they like really play like a heavy hitter or something like that. Miami,
Shout out, shout out to Cal too. They, like you said, I feel like we're not giving them
yeah, they
enough
play
love either.
ball. They play
Yeah,
ball. But the thing is, if you're special, it shouldn't be this many teams playing ball against you, right? Virginia Tech and Cal was the only two teams that Miami played that was decent. In those two games, should have been L's. Now, I think they have Louisville next, if I'm not mistaken.
let me check.
Louisville isn't that great of a team, but let's see if Louisville game go now. If Louisville game go down to the wire, what you gonna say? They still special, or just like yo?
But if
I
they
mean,
win, but if they win, they are. That's the hard part about football. And you say you know how hard it is to win. Every week is different. Like if you getting out of there with a win, bro, you gotta respect it, regardless of what it looked like.
I do respect it. I do respect it. I think they have a good football team, but special is a stretch. That's all I'm saying.
All right, a damn fruit fly in my office, my kitchen downstairs. Never mind.
I see how many floors you got, bro. Like
Yeah, yeah.
since you
Couple. We got a
flow
couple.
dropping. Nah, since you flow dropping, let us know. How many floors you got in your crib?
Chill, bro. Chill. Now, you
Let
know
us
what I
know.
really want to talk about though
What?
is it was a bunch of upsets, a bunch of them,
Mhm.
right? But it's been a team that you've been hyping up all year long. I've been tired of hearing about them because I never really believed in them like somebody, like my co-host, like Brandon Flowers.
Flow.
Tennessee. What happened, dog?
Um,
Go ahead, think of
this
something.
this game was weird, right? Um, People don't realize this, but you know how some teams can just have your number, right? When Derrick Henry was with the Tennessee Titans, the Chiefs couldn't beat him for nothing, right? It's not like the Titans was a great team. The Titans barely made the playoffs. But for some reason, when they played the Chiefs, like everybody in the playoffs can beat the Chiefs. I mean the Titans, but the Titans always beat the Chiefs. It's like those little weird matchups. So it's like, yo, we just don't match up with them. People don't realize Tennessee haven't won in Arkansas in like 23 years. Like that's just one of those teams that was going to be tough. When the schedule came out, I knew Tennessee was going to be a top team, right? I put them in the top play. I put them in the playoffs. And the one game that I said was going to be a tough game for Tennessee was Arkansas because they went on the road, right?
Who you say this to? Like, you can't just say it in your head and think that count, bro.
I didn't say it in my head. We got like a group chat, right? Where
Yeah, and I'm in it. Unless you got another one. Did y'all talk in Tennessee? And I don't think you do.
it's another group chat. You're not my only group chat, but we talk a lot of college football. And I said, yo, when Tennessee goes to Arkansas, even if they're undefeated, and I don't care if Arkansas has a win on their belt under their belt,
Bro, you sound like LeBron. That's what you sound like LeBron, dog.
this
There's no way you looked at that schedule and was like, Arkansas. Yep.
if I know they haven't won in Arkansas in 23 years, why wouldn't I say Arkansas?
But you didn't. You just looked that stat up, some random stat. I don't know where you getting your stats from, but you just randomly looked that up. It was probably in some article you read about the game, prepping for the show. But you ain't know that.
I actually even reached out to a good friend of mine who's on the Arkansas coaching staff, Kobe Smith. You know, he played running back with us in Kansas City, and I asked him how he felt about this game, and he felt pretty good. And Eddie didn't know I did my homework, but I always do my homework. That's just the kind of guy I am.
I hope people watching it so they can see the lie in your face. Like, bro, I know you enough to know when you're lying now. But that face said I'm lying. Even though I'm talking, I'm gonna try to sound believable, but I'm lying. Bruh. All right, hold on. Let's look at that schedule. They have Bama, Kentucky, which you hyping, Georgia. They got all of these top-notch teams,
Beat all of them.
and you was like Arkansas.
But you know how it is when you play a good team, you get up for that team, and you like, yo, we're gonna make a play. Y'all gonna make a play. When you see an Arkansas and you're a player for the University of Tennessee Volunteers, you don't know the history there. Like you're a kid. Like you don't know the history. You don't know that Tennessee haven't won there in 20-something years.
Yeah, probably because they hadn't been playing. It ain't like they've been playing every single. You can't tell me that they play every single year and Tennessee hadn't won. They probably skipped a whole bunch of years.
No. Yeah, they don't play each other every year. They don't play each other every year.
That's a big part of the fact that you left out.
Okay, like
misleading facts, bro. Like that. Can we? It is misleading.
If something is a fact, there's no way it can be misleading. Is it a fact or not? Have they won in 23 years or not? There's nothing misleading about that. But no, when they play, I'm not concerned. They're gonna beat Bama. They're gonna beat Georgia. If they play Kentucky, like you said, they're gonna beat Kentucky. I just knew this was gonna be the game where they were gonna struggle. And it wasn't even their team struggle, it was their offense. You know, the score was 3-0 going into the half. Like, what more can you ask your defense to do? It sounded like prime 2006, 2007 Virginia Tech, when our offense that starred Eddie Royal only scored 7 points a game, 10 if we lucky. They go out and get a touchdown and a field goal. We celebrating and drinking beer at Tots. That's just what happened to Tennessee this game. You know, I don't know why their offense seemed out of sync, but you know, if you look at Josh Heupel on the sideline, he couldn't believe it. He was just like, yo, why can't we block this guy? They're turning guys loose for sacks. Nico couldn't hit the quarterback, couldn't hit the open receiver at times. It just seemed like it wasn't Tennessee's day on the offense side of the ball. I don't think that'll ever happen again, but that's what happened in this game. So shout out to Arkansas for continuing this streak that y'all been on, taking it to Tennessee. But like I said, this is what I expected.
You made up streak. But all right. I mean, look, Tennessee just didn't. But as we just talked about with Miami, good teams find a way to win. And I believe Tennessee is a very good football team, and they didn't find a way to win. And so that was the issue. Shout out to Arkansas, though, because it was 14-10, and Arkansas decided to kick the field goal down in the red zone rather than to try to go for it. and get 7. So that was
How many
huge.
teams do you see feel like, hey, yo, we might be overmatched. Let's go get this 7. Like, 'cause we need 7. And in the group chat that I am in with you, like we always say, take the points. Um, it's a great coach at James Madison by the name of Justin Harper. Every time he sees a game, because you know he's a student of the game, he always say, "Take the points. Take the points." We all discuss this. Take the points. Always take the points. I don't care who you play. So, like you said, man, shout out to Arkansas for just trying to take those points. And now you see coaches, whenever you're in the red zone, don't panic. No matter if you feel like you outmatched on the other side of the ball, them points will add up at the end of the day.
Mhm. That might be it, man. Other than the other upsets out there, Mizzou lost to Texas A&M.
Mizzou
USC lost to Minnesota.
I know Mizzou only have one loss, but bro, they need to be out the top 25. Like
Yeah.
every team they played this year, they won by 3. I don't care who it was. I mean, they just don't look like the Missouri team that I thought they'll be. You know, coming into the game, well, coming into the year, I said, yo, Mizzou got the best receiver in college football. They got a quarterback that can get him the ball. Like, Mizzou's a team that might, well, they'll be in the college playoffs for sure, but they might make some noise. But when you look at it and see, like, yo, they went to a one-score game with Boston College, you know, it's just like teams like Vandy, who we still don't know about. You still 3-point game with them, and then when you go to Texas A&M, you get your doors blowed off, 41-10. SEC opponent, like nah, I can't respect it no more. You out of the
Yeah,
top.
I mean, you get off to a slow start. It's hard to win. And they just couldn't stop anybody. They couldn't stop them through the air. They was efficient. Texas A&M was efficient throwing the football, and they ran the ball for 236 yards and 5 touchdowns. Like you can't stop anybody. That makes it tough, and it puts pressure on the offense. And when you are executing as well as you're used to, and then the offense has a bad day, that's when you need the defense to step up. And like you said at Virginia Tech, we had some off days on offense, and that defense always did step up. So Mizzou's got something to figure out on the defensive side and the offensive side. So they definitely gonna fall in the rankings, and Miami gonna make a big jump. Shoot, Miami might be top 5. It's probably already out, but
I mean,
Miami's gonna make a big jump.
they should be. Everybody else lost, but once they lose to Louisville this week, I mean, everybody kind of settle down and see who Miami really is. You know, um,
Yeah,
I like
bro. The Heisman, who you got? You got Cam Ward, number one, and you got Ashton Genty from Boise State, running back. We got over 1,000 yards already and 16 touchdowns.
You know, I still think it's gonna be Travis Hunter just because Genty don't get a lot of jug. Like nobody really watches games. They kind of like, oh, we see the highlights. So that's gonna make it hard for him to win it. But his stats is crazy right now. The last 3 or 4 running backs who won the Heisman through 5 games, his stats already blowing them out the water. Well, not blowing them out the water. It's just better after 5 games. So it's almost like, how can you possibly not put a guy like that uh, into the Heisman favorites or the Heisman contention? He's going to be in the Heisman contention, but he should be the favorite. But he go to Boise, so I'm
That's
still
what
going
make
with
it
Travis
tough.
Hunter.
But
I'm still going with
yeah,
Travis.
because I looked at his schedule and I'm like, yeah, they don't really play nobody. That's not his fault. That's tough. But I mean, the one game they did play against Oregon, they lost by 3 points, 37-34, and he ran for 192 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like he did his part against a really good defense as well. Man, 6 touchdowns in one game, 267 yards. I don't care who you playing against. That's good football right there. So we'll see, man. What
But
is it? Week 6 in the books?
the thing is though, it's like it's crazy because if you want to like bet like the over under, his over under be crazy. It's like is he go rush for 185 yards, right? And Eddie, the thing is, his stats is this way, but he haven't played in the second half of like 2 games this season. So imagine if he would have played the whole like game and they actually were playing guys that was, capable of making plays. I want to see them play Vandy. That'll be a game. That
Man,
college game day. Y'all make y'all way to like Boise State. Just so happen play Vandy in a bowl game or something like that. Man, that's what I
man,
want to check out for sure.
chill out, bro. Get us out of here. Get us out of here.
No matter how much he's balling, I'll leave y'all with this. If the Dallas Cowboys have a chance to draft Ashton Genty, they still won't draft him, even though he's the best player maybe in college football. So thanks for joining the show today. Let you know a lot about what I think about the Cowboys. But shout out to Ashton Genty for real. We out.